Hello everyone, I am Priyanka Patel and I am presenting to you all Fissure in Ano. Starting with the introduction, fissure in ano is a very common and painful condition. Fissures occur most commonly in the midline posteriorly, which is the least protected part of the anal canal. In males, fissures usually occur in the midline posteriorly, that is 90%, and much less commonly anteriorly, that is 10%. In females, fissures on the midline posteriorly are slightly commoner than anteriorly in the ratio of 60:40. Moving on to etiology. Etiology is divided into two: primary causes and secondary causes. In primary causes, first is constipation. It has been the most common etiological factor. Second is spasm of the internal sphincter. It has also been incriminated to cause fissure in ano. Third, when too much skin has been removed during operation for hemorrhoids, anal stenosis may result, in which anal fissure may develop when hard motion passes through such stricture. Secondary causes of anal fissures must be remembered. These are ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, syphilis and tuberculosis. Next is pathology. The fissure starts proximally at the dentate line. Dentate line is also called as pectinate line. This is the line which divides the anal canal into two parts, upper 2/3 and lower 1/3. So, whole of the anal fissure lies in the sensitive skin of the anal canal, and that is why pain is the most prominent symptom. The pathology of anal fissure is not entirely clear. It is probable that an acute injury leads to local pain and spasm of the internal anal sphincter. This spasm and the resulting high resting anal sphincter pressure leads to reduced blood flow and ischemia, ultimately leading to poor healing process. Unless this cycle is broken, the fissure will persist. Next is types of fissure in ano. There are two types of fissures in ano: acute and chronic. Acute fissure in ano is a tear of skin in lower half of anal canal. There is hardly any inflammatory induration or edema of edges, as you can see in the picture. Anal sphincter muscle spasm is always present. Moving on to chronic fissure in ano. It is a deep cano-shaped ulcer. Cano-shaped is like a small, long and narrow boat, where it is open from the top and pointed at both the ends. So it is a deep cano-shaped ulcer with thick edematous margins. As you can see here, the margins are very thick. At the upper end of the ulcer, there is a hypertrophied papilla, and at the lower end of the ulcer, there is a skin tag known as sentinel pile. Sentinel because it guards the anal fissure. There is characteristic inflammation and induration at the margins. Base of the ulcer consists of scar tissue and internal sphincter muscle. Spasm of internal sphincter muscle is always present. Sometimes infection may lead to abscess formation. Moving on to clinical features of fissure in ano. Acute fissure in ano present with spasm, pain while defecation, passage of bright streaks of blood along with stool. Moving on to chronic fissure in ano. Chronic fissure in ano present with pain and bleeding, which are the two main important symptoms of this condition. Pain starting with and following defecation, usually following an hour or more, has been variously described as sharp, biting, burning, etc. Pain is sometimes intolerable and it is a main symptom of fissure in ano. Hemorrhoids may be associated with fissure in ano, and it must be remembered that uncomplicated hemorrhoid in first and second degrees are usually without pain. After the pain goes off, the sufferer remains comfortable till the next action of bowel. The bleeding of anal fissure is variable, but usually occurs as streaks on the outside of the stool or spots noted on toilet tissue. Slight discharge may accompany a fully established chronic fissure. Pruritus ani may be another symptom of this condition. Moving on to examination findings. So on examination, as you can see here, that it looks like a tightly closed puckered anus. Puckered means pinched anus. Sentinel skin tag may or may not be present. Here the acute fissure is not palpable, but in chronic fissure the characteristic crater is a basin-like opening of the vertical fissure may be felt. Moving on to treatment of fissures. So treatment is different for acute and chronic ulcers. In acute ulcers, first is oral pain medication, which may be taken before any anticipated bowel movement. Second is stool softener, which may be used to make the stool soft enough to be passed without anal spasm. Third is a neurotransmitter, that is, here it is used nitric oxide, which induces relaxation of the internal sphincter. Fourth is soothing ointments, which may be applied. Then self-dilatation, which is highly important as this will relax the anal musculature and results with healing of the fissures. And last treatment is injection of long-acting anesthetic solutions to promote little relief and with significant complications. Moving on to treatment for chronic ulcers. First is anal dilatation. Lord procedure of anal dilatation is the simplest method to dilate the sphincters of the anal canal. Under general anesthesia and the patient in lithotomy position, the index and the middle fingers of each hand are inserted simultaneously into the anus and pulled apart to give maximal anal dilatation. Second is posterior sphincterotomy and fissurectomy. The only disadvantage of this operation is a prolonged convalescent period of 7 to 10 days, and in occasional cases there may be persistent mucus discharge. Third is lateral anal sphincterotomy. Though it is said that the convalescent period is less in this operation, yet this operation is handicapped in the sense that excision of the ulcer or biopsy cannot be performed in one go. So, this operation is more appropriate for early cases. Then, excision of anal ulcer along with skin graft to limit the convalescent period has not been successful. Then lastly, anal advancement flap. In this technique, the edges of the fissure are excised and mobilized as full thickness anal skin flap. These flaps are slid over the fissure and sutured in place. This technique has become popular recently, as there is a little risk of damage to the underlying internal sphincter. So, there is no chance of incontinence. And with this, we have completed the topic of fissure in anum. Thank you so much for watching.